Hey friends! Thanks for popping by. You saw the title and the thumbnail of the video, and I know they're a bit dramatic, but I've tried to make this voiceover like 6 times. I've been mega stressed job hunting, and I'm in the mood to be a little dramatic. So strap in, because this one is going to be interesting. Now, I'm not the first person to talk about RWBY on the internet, and there is no way I'll be the last, especially with Volume 10 on the horizon, and I'm also not the first person to talk about Pyrrha. But I think I have enough of a different perspective, and I've been rewatching RWBY recently, which got me thinking about something. Now, stay with me on this one, cause I'm gonna make a very bold statement. Ready? Okay. Pyrrha's death was the end of hope in RWBY. Okay, I'm gonna have to start from the beginning and work my way forward. I like Pyrrha. I haven't seen or heard anyone who actively hates her, but I really like her. She's a sweet character, she's kind, she's a baddie. At first, I wasn't sure how I felt about her outfit, and I still really don't jive with it, but it's literally the only problem I have with her character. She's strong, and even as a side character, she got good characterization and screen time, and I genuinely looked forward to seeing more of her. I was rooting for her and Jean, especially Pyrrha helping him get stronger, and I have no shame in saying I shipped them hard. But RWBY couldn't let us have a Pyrrha-Jean love story. They couldn't even let Pyrrha survive. And the more I rewatched the first 3 volumes, the more I think that Pyrrha wasn't made to survive. She was created to be killed. I realize that is also a very dramatic statement, but I think it's true. Pyrrha was made, almost engineered, to be too good, to be too lovable. Her biggest flaws, that of being self-conscious when it comes to her true feelings, is by its nature very relatable and endearing. She was kind, selfless, strong, and a boon to her team. There is, in my mind, no possible way I could have not fallen for her character. And that's the problem. Pyrrha is essentially a glorified red shirt, especially with the context of later seasons. Now, I have to say, I don't have a problem with sacrificing a character, but the difference between a good sacrifice and a bad one is 100% down to execution. No pun intended. You see, when a character makes a sacrifice, it isn't just them who loses. In fact, for the rest of the story, it's the rest of the cast that has to deal with the lasting consequences of that sacrifice. And in the case of a character giving their life, that's even more evident. It's not like we get to see the dead person in the afterlife and see how they're dealing with things. At least not usually. As far as we, the audience, are concerned, the person who died is assumed to be at peace. But the lasting impact that the death of a character has on the others is and should have focus. Empathy is what brings us closer to these people, and if we can't see their struggle, we can't empathize with it. This goes for the way Pyrrha was treated after her death. I can count only a few instances in this series where Pyrrha's friends actually mourned her passing, and some of them were better than others. The moment in Volume 4 where we see Jean practicing his sword work with the video of Pyrrha was devastating, but it takes far too long to get another moment like that. The other characters just plug along, and in fact, get more trauma piled on them. But I'm not going to get into those plot points now, otherwise this video is going to be super long. The way they treated Pyrrha's death in the narrative was so disappointing and even disrespectful, I think. She literally gave her life trying to protect her friends and save the world from Cinder, and her friends couldn't even spare an episode to cry for her. They weren't dealing with their grief because they seemed, for the majority of the show, not to have any. And don't even get me started on the missed opportunities. Pyrrha Nikos was chosen as the next Fall Maiden, and the implications of that particular storyline are so cool and interesting, and act as such an amazing narrative parallel to Ozpin's story, with him acting as God and giving her the option to either accept the power and live with another person's soul in her body, or refuse and live her life as it was. But the intrigue that could have brought to the story was thrown away in favor of making the villain stronger. I don't have a problem with this either, but I can't help but feel like the better path would have been to allow Pyrrha to take half of the Fall Maiden's powers and act as a foil to Ozpin moving forward. I don't know, maybe I'll start writing fanfic just to heal my sorrow over losing Pyrrha and that the narrative doesn't seem to care. But Lazy Griffin, I hear you ask. You said that Pyrrha's death was the end of hope in RWBY. What do you mean by that? You see, Pyrrha's sacrifice was a good one if you only look at it through a narrow lens. A strong character giving everything to protect those she loves. But when you zoom out, it serves 3 primary narrative functions. 1, to show the audience just how powerful the enemy is. 2, to add angst to the show moving forward. And 3, to unlock RWBY's silver eye magic. The problem with this is that any number of characters could have served all of these functions either alone or as part of a group. Specifically, Ozpin could have served all of these functions. You could literally have Pyrrha get the other half of Autumn's powers, so Cinder can't let her and Jean run off, and make it so that Ozpin has to protect the two, especially Pyrrha, because she's recovering from literally taking on the soul of another person. Then have Jean call RWBY, then when she shows up, Ozpin gets killed, and then Cinder goes for Pyrrha, and RWBY's eye magic activates to protect them. Heck, we could even get Jean sacrificing himself to protect Pyrrha and have that trigger RWBY's eye thing. Then, in later seasons, the surviving team could have so much building resentment towards Ozpin. There would be so much drama! And I live for drama. But that also doesn't exactly tell you why Pyrrha's death was the end of hope in RWBY. The reason why is because her death was the first in a long line of continuous loss and sacrifice that is essentially meaningless. Pyrrha's sacrifice served narrative functions, yeah, but narrative function doesn't equal meaningful. Pyrrha's death helped the protagonists like 0.2%, and that's a trend in RWBY. Cinder came back stronger than ever after taking a power that never belonged to her in the first place. Salem killed so many people in Atlas in Volume 8, the villains keep winning this war, and the heroes haven't made any significant headway in combating this threat. And they've sacrificed so much. The literal biggest victory this ragtag crew has had since Volume 3 was Adam's death. That's ridiculous. 9 volumes and that's it? When the heroes lose everything and the villains keep winning, why should the heroes even try? Being a story of resilience and perseverance may be the point of RWBY, but the framing kills any sense of small victory and doesn't do a good job justifying why these characters keep moving forward despite their hardships. I suppose what I really want out of RWBY as a show is just to see the losses actually making the protagonists cry. Thank you guys so much for watching. This is a really different format for me, more video essay adjacent, but I actually really enjoyed myself, and I think there was a lot of pent-up feelings that I got to express through this video. If you guys do want to see more RWBY content, if you liked this video, then go ahead and show the algorithm some love. Like the video, comment down below, tell me if you want me to continue doing RWBY stuff, or if there are other shows you want me to talk about, and if you liked seeing my Pyrrha redesign. It was honestly just me working out the weird gripes that I had with her costume in the first place, but that is by no means me saying that I improved it. I was just making it more to my taste. And I understand that my taste is not everybody else's, so if you didn't like it, that's okay too. I will not be offended. Anyways, that's all for me today. I have another video coming out in a couple of Fridays, so stay tuned for that. Like the video, comment down below what you would like to see from me next. Subscribe on your way out, and until next time, thanks for watching. Bye!